I'm Erica, also known as E.MoniQue, and this is my real life. Hang out with me as I side-eye the ups and stumble through the downs. Watch as I turn my tiny piece of the Arizona desert into a tropical oasis. Fight to beat infertility and figure out where I fit as an artist in this crazy creative world. All while awkwardly discovering my authentic self. I'll be talking out loud about the things I wish someone would have said a while ago and sorting through what I wish I didn't know. Who knows? Maybe you can relate, as I often ask myself. I mentioned I'm single and have been for a while. My friends are great though. They keep me busy and discouraged. Seeing them get married and pop out kids like bags of Skittles was nice to see, and I really was happy for them all. But at the end of the day, I was lonely. And they could see that and tried to help. I forgot that people still did the blind date thing until my best friend set me up with her coworker. Marin was great. I really liked her. Attractive, smart, laughed at my jokes with this great big smile. We must have sat at that dinner table for hours just talking about life. She told me what she wanted, or at least hoped for herself, and kids weren't in it. I mean, she didn't mention it. If a family was something you wanted, you would have brought it up, right? Yeah, me too, and I did. She commented on how nice that sounded, as if what I said I wanted was a fantasy or a running joke. Still, she didn't get reminded that kids were an option and say, "Hey, me too, of course." Marin was a beautiful woman, and I guess I could have dated her a while longer and tried to convince her that kids weren't that bad, but you see, I've got this problem with wasting time. Lucky getaway for her. My friend set me up with Elle from the coffee shop. I go there every day. Well, I went there every day. For the same thing, a caramel latte with extra cream, and she was the only barista that could make it just right. My best friend caught me smiling at her one day and took that as an invitation to get in my business again. What are best friends for? Leela stood right next to me as if she were me and asked Elle if she'd like to come to dinner one night this week and how she makes a mean risotto. Elle, smiling big, looked at me and replied with, "I'd love to." Silently shaking my head, I thought, does Elle even know what she's being trapped into? A gay date with my friend family? I mean, she's got to be able to tell that. I looked at Leela. She's smiling at me. I told her with my eyes that Elle probably isn't even into women, you fool. Elle's voice softly said, "I have only one condition. You have to be my date, and I live close to the shop, so you can stop by and we'll go together." Leela's smile widened and she gave me a look back that said, "See, I told you. Thank you, Leela. You're so awesome for finally making this happen." Yes, her eyes said all of that in 30 seconds of stare battle. Leela's good at this. Elle was sweet, young. She had this gorgeous set of sparkling hazel eyes, short curly hair. Her smile brightened everything. On our second date, we went to an Italian spot for bruschetta and wine, her favorite. It was like a replay of Marin, which made me nervous. She had so much more exhilaration and unknown inside her. I was always wondering about all that she was because there seemed to be no end. I went with her to pick out this puppy she had been talking about. Seeing her with it filled me up and I was instantly in love. I didn't see anything but her lifting up and hugging a baby. She named her pug Devin. She wanted to get married and have 1 or 2 kids. So far, so good. I could work with that. She mentioned she wanted to finish school and get out of the coffee shop first, but wanted it all. My heart melted. We toasted every night. Elle and I dated for 2 years. We even moved in together, and I was sure she was going to be the one. We talked about marriage and timing and who was going to carry our child. I didn't consider that there were any other options. And she was okay talking about wedding plans, but when we got to the baby subject, she always clammed up a bit and changed the conversation's direction. I could tell something was wrong, but I wasn't sure what, and when I asked her about it, she would give me a soothingly dim smile and say, "It's nothing." It wasn't until Elle had finished her degree in journalism that she told me she had changed her mind about having children, even one. She loved me and wanted to marry me, but that was it. That's all. I had fallen for Elle, and she dropped a bomb on me. Having children became a thing I couldn't compromise on. When I left, she gave me Devin. Said that he had grown so attached to me that I should take him and that we needed each other. I did. That's how I got my right-hand man. After that, it became more or less a mission to become a mom. Not even necessarily a wife and a mom, just mom. It sort of took over my life. I felt like I had to make up for all of this time that passed with me trying to have the full package, and I figured maybe that wasn't what all of this was. A package of 2 could be just fine. My production at the studio was low because I was always focused on the research I'd need to do, and then I'd do the research. Pregnancy by insemination. Oh, okay. Surrogacy, using your own egg. Adoption. I wasn't against having my own child, but damn, there's a lot of work and paper towels to be put into that. Why, when there are so many children out there right now that want me? That became my obsession. I read so many books on adoption, joined parenting groups for others who had been through the process, made new friends. I was ready. My current friends and Leela were on board. She just wanted to see me happy, even offered Jackson as one I could adopt and take off her hands. I told her it was a deal. It came packed with 80 stacks in his diaper bag. Jackson was the only baby who literally looked at me with disdain. She said she'd discuss it with Mike and get back to me. Aside from little Jay, I saw it everywhere. You know how you get a new car, you see that car everywhere? You get a job and can't seem to escape its ads? For the next 8 months, all I saw were baby strollers, and every kid that passed by me made an effort to smile at me and say hello or wave sweetly. It was getting impossible to resist. My soul jumped right out of my body when I heard the blood-curdling scream in wails. My body, delayed as fuck, got up a second later. You know how you wake up after a heavy night out and look around to piece together what happened or confirm it was all a dream? For me, it wasn't. It felt like it. New life, day 2. Get up, pick the baby up out of the crib and set her on the counter. Start to make us some coffee for breakfast. I pour a cup and look at her red, soaking wet face as I sip slow. She sniffles and curls her lip as if to start up again and reach out for my coffee. Oh shoot, milk! You can't have coffee. Snap out of it. You're failing already. I make Cassandra a bottle and soothe her from her traumatizing morning wake-up. What's that smell? Oh shit, here we go. Did you make that shitty shit smell? Jeez, how? And why? Diapers. Where did I put the diapers? I frantically ran around the loft searching as Cassandra giggled hysterically, almost choking on her milk. You okay? Okay, good. Okay. What did I do with those diapers? A loud cop-like knock at the door quieted the excitement. I popped my head up from under the couch and we looked at each other. Visitors this early? It was like 11:45 a.m. I ran and slid to the front door. Out of the peephole was an impatient Leela. Come on, wake up, today's the day. Here we go. I'm not ready, Lee. Come back in 30 minutes. 30 minutes? Open this damn door and quit playing with me. Click, unlock, click. She pushed open the door and immediately went into scold mode. Jack's being pulled along behind her. You better snap out of it. This is what you've been wanting for years now. Act like it. And what's that shitty smell in here? What's going on? Jackson pinched his little nose and said, stinky baby. Layla looked around my shoulder at the couch, then saw Cassandra finishing her bottle playing with her feet in the air. Lee looked at me with fireworks in her damn face, taking a huge breath and squealing. She's already here? Oh my God, why didn't you tell me? When did she get here? She hovered right over the baby and stared in amazement. I picked her up Tuesday. We got home late last week. Last week? I ought to swift kick you in the ass. I just wanted some time with her before all of the craziness, and I was so tired the whole week. We just needed quiet and to get settled. Okay, well, that's understandable, but she's your daughter. You're going to have plenty of quiet and not so quiet time with her, wanted and unwanted, until she's 18. Don't be selfish. And it doesn't look like you have anything settled in here. Why is she not changed and bathed? Leela? I chuckled from being overwhelmed and not for her mouth. It's too early for your shit. We just woke up and I can't find where I put the diapers. So calm the hell down. I'm trying to get the hang of all of this. Her son Jackson looked in the shoe rack next to the door and walked over the pack of diapers to me. Wow, thank you, Jax. Me and Layla looked crazy at each other. Jax hates me. He won't even look at me, let alone come to me. My life is ruined, isn't it? Uh-huh. This is going to be a hell of a ride. I cleaned Cassandra up using kitchen gloves, an apron, boots, a dust mask, a shower cap, a huge garbage bag. If any of this gets on my floor, my couch, or me, I'm going to fall out. Leela and Jackson, tickled laughing at me, rolled around. You look like a damn fool. And look, it still got on your shirt. Ah, where? Gasping for air, she shouts, nowhere, stupid, jeez. I threw my glove at her and she screamed. I ran a bath for the baby, sat her in, and washed her up. I asked Lee if she could keep her busy for me while I showered. No? What are you going to do when I'm not here? Oh God, don't be like this. I'll figure it out normally. But you're here now, so why wouldn't I use you? Oh, so this is how this friendship works? Yes, bitch. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I grabbed my coffee, gulped it down, and went to get ready. Leela and I went way back. We've always been best friends. since middle school. We didn't like each other at first. In fact, I couldn't stand her. She has always been the know-it-all, bossy girl who tried to run the world by way of other people. Our mothers worked together and thought that it would be good for me to have a girly friend. Drove me nuts just how girly she was. And she hated that I refused to obey. But we ended up being like yin and yang after I kicked the little boy that was messing with her and the jewels. Inseparable, and we never tried to change each other, no matter how hard our mothers tried to. I was there when she met that guppy Mike, even helped him plan the most romantic proposal, and I was there for her wedding. She made me wear a dress in order to be her maid of honor, and although I told her I'd graciously bow out of that position, she wouldn't let me. The dress was purple. Purple. This had all been the perfect social media dream. Who did I think I was, and how could I be so irresponsible and selfish? Completely unwilling to compromise my life in the city. This glass box in the smog-filled sky for an innocent child. Of all the women to come in and out of my life and the loves I still hoped for, this girl has been surrendered to me. Who did that? Why? Where did she come from? How am I going to raise her in this wild concrete jungle? Me, a queer single black woman with a red-haired, fair-skinned child. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Cassie, I'm sorry, baby. But it is nothing but the truth that it only took a few weeks after bringing her home until I felt utter regret. Like a severe buyer's remorse for having a $40,000 Rembrandt mounted over the mantel. I stepped back for a zoomed-out view of my choices, tilted my head and squinted. But did I really need this? Was this an impulsive, frivolous splurge? Yes! I felt like that in the most intense way, that adopting a child while living in the middle of Manhattan was non-necessity, in hindsight. I had a person's valuable, irreplaceable life in my care, and all there was to ensure it didn't get lifted was a doorman in Devon. The stroller that I ordered was like the Yukon of all strollers. I'm not even sure how Benny got it into my apartment. Not my focus right now. I tip him generously at Christmas. I could barely walk down the street with the thing, let alone get into the coffee shops and the cab. No, they don't help you into the cab. They sit and stare in the rearview mirror, annoyed that this is taking so long. Car seat? What do you mean? Anyway, I met Leela and little Jay at Edmund's for a slice of cake and a bottle of wine. I held Cassie dangling in one arm as she drooled on my coat and duck-walked the Yukon through the door and parked it in the corner. Bitch, are you even my friend? We could have done this at home. Still standing, I was serious about my answer. Sit down. You can't hole yourself up in that apartment with her. You've got to figure out new life. You love Edmonds. Since when have you wanted to stay at home? Edmonds is overpriced, loud, and far. Love you, Ed. I'm struggling, Leila. I have never felt so small, so powerless, confused, irritable, exhausted, aware of everything. I feel like that woman who had that bag of mind-opening drugs burst in her stomach. Leila looked at Jackson, who only heard and saw his ginormous amount of cake in front of his little face. Does that really work? Let me try. Ed, we'll have what they're having. Does the little one want regular or a heavy pour? Heavy, please.